Yes.
This is gonna be a good one. I swear I've only had one drink. It was a mojito.
I had like 2 mouthfuls.
Oh no, I pre-gamed with a mojito while I waited for you to show up. We are just starting out, and I think I might already be drunker than I expected to be. Whoops.
I wish I was on your level. God, I wish I was drunk right now.
You are listening to Rent Free in My Head, the podcast where we take the thoughts that are squatting in our minds and help set them up in yours free of charge. Each week, Kirstyn is going to just destroy me with a true crime tale.
And then Jeramie is gonna make me wish I wasn't friends with him, and tell me a mystery that will just annoy me because it isn't solved and he can't answer my questions.
Most people wish they weren't friends with me.
I thought you were going to say most people wish they weren't friends with you, like referring to me. And I was like, oh, fuck oath. I don't even want to be friends with you.
Little bit of column A, little bit of column B. But also,
why we're friends.
I feel like even if I have answers, I can't answer your questions. It's come up multiple times in the past few days that I'm really bad at speaking, which is really great considering the industry that we're trying to break into.
Go team.
One that requires me to speak.
Ironically enough, I also am really bad at reading aloud, but I write my notes down and then have to read them aloud.
Oh, okay, so this is a good segue here. So this is the first episode that we're recording after going live.
Oh my God. So fucking exciting, y'all.
So we went live. So today is Wednesday.
Night.
We went live on Monday night.
Yeah,
and then
night.
We hit Spotify overnight. So on Tuesday, people were able to listen to it. So this is our first time like doing this after having people. I mean, we did kind of do a little test audience with the first episode. I did tell you that I sent that to like 3 or 4 different people to listen to, right?
Yeah.
So we obviously did a test audience, but it was cool to have. It's been cool to actually have it be out there and have people responding. But
yeah, like a couple of people have come up to me at work and been like, "Oh my God, your podcast." What? I love it. It's dumb. Not it's dumb. It's funny. And I'm like, oh, bless. Thank you.
Cute.
So cute. That's the goal. That's what we want to be.
But one of the first messages I got when I shared it on social media that we were live was a friend being like, okay, but why are they 2 hours long? Like, I can't listen to a podcast that was that long. But then I've had a couple of other people be like, I actually really like the length. And I was like,
what kind of podcasts are your friends listening to that aren't 2 hours long? Like most of the podcasts I've ever listened to have been about hour and a half, 2 hours long.
Yeah. Most of what I listen to are longer episodes as well. And I personally prefer longer podcasts
because then I can just like put it on and then like do a task. Like I listen to them a lot when I'm cleaning my house.
See, I'm just someone who doesn't like being left alone in silence with my thoughts. That might be a sign that I need therapy, but we're going to move on from that.
Everyone needs therapy.
I tend to just prefer to fill every possible waking moment that I can with podcasts. So the longer, the better. Like it's reached the point where I will be gaming and I will have a podcast playing through the speaker. So like it works for me, but I think the cutest bit of feedback that we got was that it just feels like someone's sitting in the room, like just listening to us have a chat. Kind of creepy to just sit and eavesdrop on people's conversations, but also kind of cute. I think the vibe that we're going for.
It's definitely the vibes.
But definitely keen to hear more thoughts, guys. Please feel free to reach out to us on our socials, which I know I know we normally talk about this at the end, but even at the start, I'm just going to jump in now. You can find us at RFIMH podcast on Instagram and Twitter. We also have a Facebook page that we have not plugged yet. That is literally just called Rent Free in My Head podcast. And you can also send us a letter, but like a digital letter, on that fancy email thing.
It's literally called like email because it's electronic mail.
Yeah.
Like you had that opening and you just.
I prefer digital letter.
I passed it.
But you can email us as well at rfimhpodcast@gmail.com. Yeah, where I was going with what I was saying is I can't work in silence, but then I also have an issue where I can't exactly work on my notes while listening to a podcast because I can't focus on reading and writing and listening to people talking. So then I'm like, oh, dude, let's listen to some music. Jammed out to it for about 20 minutes instead of doing anything. It was like, okay, that ain't going to cut it. Turned it off, looked at my notes and was like, okay, where was I up to? Reading through all my... The fuck is that? Literally wrote Fall Out Boy lyrics in my notes.
Oh my God.
I'm hoping I got rid of them, but...
I love that so much. I low-key hope you didn't though, so that like you'll be like talking about it and you won't register what you're saying and you'll start saying the lyrics and then you'll be like, wait a minute, this doesn't make any sense. And you'll realize.
So we'll see how we go with that.
I love it though, honestly. But anyway, let's dive into my case, bestie.
That's I realized that I'm not the only one that has a drinking game rule that applies to them. You also have a little catchphrase.
Oh.
But anyway.
Oh God. I'm so sorry. I don't even mean to do it. My case today is also, it's not as bad, I don't think, but it's still bad. And I was gonna say low-key depressing, but it's just pretty darn depressing.
Mine's, I mean, it's not great. It's a little bit brutal, but it's nothing compared to last week. Okay, it's no monster.
Yay! No one's genitals are gonna get mutilated. Woo! Oh God! Wait, what? No, Jeramie, no! Stop going with genital mutilation.
We'll see.
Jesus fucking Christ!
I am gonna mutilate another language.
Oh yay! Well, look, you know what? Actually, that's a brilliant segue. I had originally planned on doing a different case in a different country every week because I was like, that's fucking cool and I want to do that. But like everything else in my life, that didn't fucking turn out the way I wanted it to. And I have this really cool book that I bought from Kmart. It's called Evil Women, Deadlier Than the Male by John Marlowe. Because women are great, even when they're murdering people. Actually, the lady I talk about is low-key like a massive piece of shit. But anyway.
But women are great. So great.
They are when they're not fucking murdering someone. Actually, like
women kill for smarter reasons than men. This woman killed because, I don't know, bitch was talking bad about her, but women kill for smarter reasons than men. Who am I?
Some bitch named Kirstyn? Ironically enough, I don't know if it's ironically. I don't know. I never know if I'm using that term correctly. I don't give a shit.
Is it worth noting?
Yeah, there we go. It's worth noting that we're going back to America, right? And we're also actually going back to the same state and same county as my last case, just a different city within that county. So we're going back to Texas and we're going back to Houston County.
Okay.
But instead of being in
Pasadena.
Thank you, I could not remember.
I'm aware.
Memory of a goldfish gang.
I'm not even looking at you and I could tell.
Look, I can't help it. We're going, so yeah, Texas, Harris County. We're going to Jacinto City. And I would really like to tell you some like cool and interesting facts about Jacinto City, but it's just not that interesting. I'm so sorry if you live there, but it's nothing happened. It's but it was founded in 1946. If you know, like peeps were already living there and vibing as a community before then. But I think in 1946 is when they like formed their government or whatever. And so that's why it's called like it was founded in 1946. I don't know. I don't really care. I read the like description on their website. It was literally 2 paragraphs on their history, and it was very boring. I'm so sorry to the Jacinto City website creator. Like just anyway, but when you go onto the Jacinto City website on the main page, the homepage, literally like, so imagine the top of your forehead is the top of the screen, right? Probably where your nose is. There is a big red link to the Texas sex offender website.
Why am I the web page?
No, it was just an easy way for me to like measure it. Because
I
I was just going to show you, but everyone who's like listening and not watching won't be able to see Jeramie.
Is the link showing up on my face? I'm pressing the big red button.
Yes, the link to the Texas Sex Offender Registry is your nose, Jeramie. Your nose specifically. No one else's, just yours.
So don't boot my snoot.
So I was like, you know what? I'm going to search our names on this website. I'm going to see if there are sex offenders with our names. Neither of our exact names came up. So yay. However, when I searched our names on the National Sex Offenders website, you got a hit. Your first name did. It's not spelled correctly, but I still
is it the traditional spelling?
Yeah, Jeremy.
The lame way to spell it.
Yeah. So you have one. His name is Jeramie DuPaul. He's on the list for life because he was found guilty of possessing child porn.
Oh, I thought I was going to ask to Jeramie DuPaul.
Oh my God, that's brilliant.
But now it's not funny because that's really bad.
That's like really bad.
He's giving Jeramie's a bad name. Also, what is that noise on your end?
What noise? Can you still hear it?
No, we're all good.
Okay,
yeah.
Cool. Yeah, sorry, it's a bug.
Anyway, at least we figured it out.
That's true. But yeah,
it was really bugging me.
But anyway, moving on from the bugs outside my window. Sex offenders list. That's right, yeah. So a different spelling version of you is a sex offender who possessed child pornography. But I feel like if we're like making it a tier of like shitty things to do with children, that's not the worst thing you could do.
Still no Twizzler. I mean, it's not great.
No, it's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
But he's no Twizzler.
No.
So that's a positive.
I mean, he's also not giving children tips for murder.
Okay, well, my name's not on the sex offenders list, so anyway. Anywho, moving on from the American Sex Offenders Registry, which like really doesn't really have much to do with us.
That's the weirdest fun fact that you've ever had.
Okay, but I was just like, lol, this is like such a bright and big thing to have on like the front of your page. Like, oh, look at our city. We're so great. Also, sex offenders list, gang.
Woohoo!
Woo!
The people also, you can, like, don't want to party with.
No, literally though, but you know, they like give like your full address. Like that, not yours, like their full address, which like makes sense, but at the same time, I just feel like a lot of people could get like murdered that way. Which like would it be a bad thing?
Murder is still murder.
True.
Whether the person has it coming or not, it's still murder. Someone's still dying. They still have loved ones that have to deal with the aftermath of that situation.
So while the bad stuff, while the main aspect of my story today happens in Jacinto City, technically, like soups technically, it begins in, I have no idea how to say this city. I did not think to look it up because apparently I just didn't think about that.
That sounds on brand.
Deal with it. It's going to sound like shit and I don't care.
Hopefully the whole podcast doesn't.
Schenectady.
Are you trying to say Schenectady?
Oh my God. I think I am. Oh my God, no.
Is it actually Schenectady?
You saying it and me looking at it, I think it's right. But Schenectady.
Schenectady.
I think I'm saying titty, yeah.
Yeah, you're saying titty.
Schenectady. Taddy. Oh my God. Say it one more time.
Schenectady.
Schenectady.
Yeah,
Oh my
there you
God,
go.
I feel like this is that fucking moment from Friends
Yeah.
where Phoebe's trying to get Joey to pronounce something and he still fucks it up in the end.
Je m'appelle.
Yeah, je m'appelle. I can say that.
Oui, pou
Took
pou.
French for 4 years. We're just going to move on because we're just going to move on.
So we're going to, where are we going to?
Fuck. Schenectady.
Oh, do you want to exonerate yourself a little bit since we've gone live with the whole you not knowing what the capital city of South Australia is? You kind of redeemed yourself a little bit today.
Oh, yeah, I did because what was it? 2 other people in the room didn't know it, and one of them bitches used to live there. So, motherfuckers.
It's still not great, but
Okay, but no one cares about South Australia.
I care about South Australia.
Yeah, because you get wine from them. But if they didn't have wine, would you actually care about them at all?
It's the murder capital of the world, Kirstyn. Would we even have an industry to work in if Adelaide did not exist?
Yeah, because America does.
Yeah, but it's not the murder capital of the world.
That's very true. Okay, but anyway, so technically it begins in New York. I can't remember.
Schenectady.
Anyway. Schenectady. Yeah, crushed it. Where Miss Sue Basso was born into a family of 9. And when I say family of 9, I'm including her parents and her 7 siblings.
No, that's not as bad. I thought you were going to say, 9 siblings, in which case I was going to be like, that poor woman's vagina, and also
it's
those poor
literally
parents.
1 less. Like they had
2
8
less.
children.
Ah.
Huh? They had 8 children. She experienced a troubled childhood. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, everyone has. Get over it. And at one point spent time in a Catholic reform school. Also seems like a pretty fucking common thing for Americans. Why are you laughing so much?
I don't know.
I'm just gonna keep going. Fuck you.
It's fine.
She was apparently an attractive woman, though I'm gonna show you this sketch that's in my book. Bestie is not fucking attractive in it. So
I'm sure she was to someone. I'm not that someone.
Yeah, literally though. In her defense, it says that she was an attractive woman at the beginning of the story, and then later on it literally calls her overweight. I think
maybe she was attractive on the inside and then she started to become a heinous person.
On the inside, I don't think she was ever attractive in the fucking slightest. This woman is a piece of shit. So apparently she was Soup's hot or whatever, and she got married in her early 20s.
How did we get from attractive to Soup's hot?
Okay,
those
fine,
are 2
whatever.
very different levels.
Fine. Apparently she was attractive.
That's better.
And she married some Marine kid in her early 20s. His name was James Peake. They had 2 children. Christiana, which I low-key really like that name, and James Jr., because apparently they couldn't think of anything more original. So yeah, his name's JJ. So while her and her husband Peake remained married for ever, they didn't get divorced at all.
So it was till death do we part?
Literally. Spoiler alert. Anyway, both apparently had no issue sharing the love around. No hate to people who have open relationships. You do you, boo. I'm just shitting on this woman because I hate her and she's a piece of shit. So she would sleep with people, he would sleep with people. Neither of them really fucking gave a shit. They stayed married to each other and had their children. Apparently they weren't the best parents, water shock, and they would abuse their children. At one point she decided to reinvent the whole family, and instead of being the Peake family, they became the O'Malley family. She tried to live out this little Irish family fantasy dream. I don't know.
What about the Irish life piqued her interest?
Oh my God. It doesn't say, and I'm moving past that.
That's the peak of comedy right there.
No, it's not. So, just to give you a taste of how much of a piece of shit this woman
Sorry,
is.
are you giving me a taste or are you giving me a peek?
Stop. I can't with you. I fucking can't. I'm literally, my next sentence is about rape. Yeah. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Oh my God, no, buddy. So anyway, she would rape her son. Just saying, in this book, I low-key do not like John Mullo for saying this. He was like, she was having sex with her son.
He was
She
a minor.
was raping him.
Yes.
It's rape. It's not having sex with. It's rape.
Yes.
So she was raping her son. And the most disgusting part of this is she referred to her son as Bozo the fuck clown.
What?
Mm-hmm. Didn't really give me much other context around it. And frankly, I didn't want to dive into that like fucking disgustingness too much. So I fucking left it there and was like, that's disgusting. But I'm just trying to paint a picture of how much this woman is literal scum. So raped her child and called him Bozo the fuck clown. Yep.
Cool.
So she's fucking disgusting. After living the Irish family fantasy for a bit, she was like, you know what? She met this guy named Carmine Basso. And she was like, oh, yes, daddy, I love you. And then he moved into the family home. And then after a couple of months, James Sr. moved out and was like, fuck this shit. I'm out. I'm done. So she couldn't get literally. She couldn't get married to Carmine Basso, but she did take his last name. So that's why she's always referred to as Sue Basso, because I don't know how she did it. Don't give me that look. I don't fucking know. It's just what she
And
does.
her husband was just okay with this?
I think
her husband was just okay with her raping their son?
Yeah, I was like, are you really? Look.
How?
Yeah, no, don't. I know. So then we move on to the even more great details about Sue Basso.
Yay. I'm going to love him, aren't I?
Oh, for sure. So when she was 44 years old, she took a trip to New Jersey. And this is in 1997, by the way. And it was there that she went to a church bazaar, which I Googled, and it basically said that it was like a marketplace kind of situation created by volunteers for the church. So I think they would all just kind of like come together and like bring like crafty shit or baked goods to sell and, I don't know, get money for the church or something like that. I don't know. I didn't really care.
I like money. Can I have money?
What a mood.
Can I be a church? I'll be the church of
tax-free
Jeramie, and then people can give me money.
Would they worship you?
I mean, they can. I'm not gonna stop people from worshiping me. Like, I deserve to be worshipped.
You do in some senses, but not in the sense that you're talking about right now.
It's fine. I'll just go start a cult then.
So yeah, it was at this church bazaar that she met 59-year-old Louis Buddy Musso. Now, Buddy is a very lovely man. He was beloved by his community. He was like friends with everyone. He was a packer at the local supermarket. He's gonna
get dead, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He did have the mental capacity of an 8-year-old. Yes. That's not to say he wasn't living a full life. He had been previously married, but his wife died of cancer in 1980.
What?
So
why does he have to get dead? I don't want him to get dead. I like him.
No, he's literally like the sweetest fucking person. So like everything I read about him was like that he was like so cute, and like how he's described in the book is like he couldn't really pass for a cowboy even when he was dressed in a Stetson hat, blue jeans, neckerchief, and pointy-toed boots. He was frail looking, but he was like, I don't know, he just sounds so cute. And then like there's like a little sketch of him.
I just want to hug him.
So fucking happy. Like, look at him.
I just want to hug him.
Right? He's so cute. But yeah.
I'll be his friend.
So this was like 17 years after his wife had died. He, was living his life as a little packer at the supermarket, had his friends in the community. And then he met Sue Basso, and a budding romance was formed.
It sounds like it wilted before it bloomed, though.
Yes. Well, so obviously it was only a short, well, not obviously, but it was only a short trip for Sue in New Jersey, and she did return to Jacinto City. However, she did keep in contact with Buddy, and it was only just over a year, about a year later, he had decided that he was going to go live with her, and he would refer to her as his lady love. So
He sounds like such a good egg.
Right. So he started like sending his like prized possessions, which I think according to the article I read weren't really that prized in other people's eyes, but to him they were modest possessions, and he was mailing them to Sue because he was going to go join her.
Value is in the eye of the beholder.
Literally though.
Items hold more value than monetary.
He also cashed a social security check and bought a modest engagement ring. Before, by the way, this is 1998, June 14th, he gets on a Greyhound bus. I don't know where grain came from.
Well, it usually comes from like wheat and
I fucking knew you were going to say that. I fucking knew it. Moving on. So he gets on a Greyhound bus bound for Houston, which is like, same kind of section. He's going to Jacinto City. His friends, I'm going to call them family because I assume that they would be more like a family situation than friends, but they weren't actually his family.
Friends are family. They're
exactly
your chosen family, which
sometimes is better.
Within the queer community is a really important thing too. So
no, exactly. So yeah, and like by all accounts, he didn't have any blood relations at all. Like that town in New Jersey, like that was his life. So
Buddy,
after June 14th, after he got on that bus, he was not heard from or seen from again by the New Jersey fam. August 26th, 1998, Kirstyn was 2 years old. Someone kind of finds the inkling that something is wrong. So Buddy's body was found lying in a ditch in Galena Park, which is the community adjacent to Jacinto City. Apparently it hadn't been discovered like super quickly or anything like that because it kind of looked like it was wrapped up in a blanket or something. So a lot of people had just been like going past it, thinking it was just rubbish on the side of the road, which makes this even more depressing. So at first they didn't know who it was, partly due to the fact that the body was dressed in completely clean and new clothing, and partly due to the severe trauma to the body. So the coroner's report actually ended up being 7 pages long with the conclusion.
I thought that my 4 pages of notes was a lot. Like, damn.
Yeah. So the conclusion was that he died from blunt force trauma, but the other injuries included a fractured skull, obviously, a broken nose, 17 cuts to his head, 14 broken ribs, cuts and cigarette burns on his back. Plus, he was bruised all over his body, including his genitals. Yeah, I know.
Jeramie, stop going for genital mutilation.
Okay, that was like the only time I mentioned genital, and technically it's just bruising. So it's not as bad. Some lady got her vagina scalped in your story. Multiple ladies.
Let's
not compare our murders though.
Let's not compare the severity.
No, they're both like horrific. I'm just trying to downplay mine as not being as bad because Buddy was such a sweet fucking human. So yeah.
Are you saying that those women weren't sweet? Sweet fucking women? Because
fuck off! That's not what I'm saying. Okay, no.
I'm sorry. I just saw an opportunity to rile you up. Just to clarify, I'm not only an asshole to Kirstyn. I'm an asshole to everyone. I like to spread the hustle around.
Spread the asshole around. Definitely my favorite conversation from today.
You heard it here first. I spread the asshole around.
Spread the asshole around.
I also mean to say that I'm an equal opportunity asshole.
He doesn't just bully me, he bullies all of his friends.
Not just my friends.
Okay, look, he just bullies everyone. Body was discovered. Can't work out who it is because they've got fresh clothes. Trauma to the body is intense. Okay, so several hours after the body was discovered, guess who goes waltzing on into a police station?
Was it Sue?
Oh my God, it was.
Yay, what do I win?
The rest of the story.
I don't want it.
You really don't.
Can I return it?
No. So she walks in with her son, JJ, and she's like, hey guys, this man who's been living with me, I don't know what she said of their relationship.
Where was her husband through all of this?
Not mentioned at all. Oh, wait, shit. No. Oh my God. I missed a part of my notes. I'm so sorry. Okay. So the OG husband, James Peake, fucked off, never to be heard from again in the story. Just literally cut that bitch out of his life.
You lied to me. You said it was till death do they part, that they were married.
No, because they remain married. They don't divorce. They do not divorce. It will make sense when I'm finished. It'll make sense when I'm finished. But anyway, so he's fucked off, doesn't hear from her again. The Basso kid, Carmine Basso, I forgot to say, he died right around the time that she went to New Jersey and met Buddy.
Okay.
So he did. She lives in Jacinto City with Bernice Miller, and Bernice Miller's two children, Craig and Hope, and
Who
Hope's
the fuck is
fiance,
Bernice Miller?
Parents. The lady that fucking Sue lives with. It'll make sense in a minute. Fuck,
Okay.
bitch. Just listen. Gosh.
I'm the one who covers mysteries, but you decided to make your case very mysterious.
I honestly wanted to draw you a family tree, so this would make more sense.
I know that we just had a half-hour sidebar, but I've heard none of these fucking names before.
Yeah, because they weren't mentioned until the end.
And because you forgot to tell me that Hope just
Loki forgot
off.
to tell you
And
that.
then
I told you.
died.
Okay. No. I told you that James Peake fucks off because I told you Carmine Basso moves into the family home and then James fucks off after a couple months. I'm also pretty sure he takes Christiana with him because she's not fucking mentioned again. But JJ stays with Mama because he's a mama's boy because she fucking raped him and conditioned him.
It's going to be really awkward if I listen back to this and find out that you did tell me all of this and I just drunkenly wasn't listening. I mean, I was stitching. So
I didn't mention Christiana leaving and I didn't mention Carmine dying because that's what I legitimately forgot to tell you.
Editing, Jeramie, do me a favor and jump in here after the beep to let us know if she did actually tell me this or not. Beep. Okay, so here's the thing. She did tell me, and I actually responded. But that's neither here nor there. Just continue listening. We'll forget it ever happened. I apparently did.
So Sue walks into the Popos, and she's like, oh my God, this guy that I've been living with, Buddy. She doesn't really describe the relationship much. She's like, this guy that's been living with me and all these other people, because apparently they all like to fucking live together.
Like a share house kind of sitch?
I think it was.
Aren't they grown adults with kids?
They're also really.
I mean, I'm not judging grown adults with kids in a share house because you do you to get by in an economy. I'm just trying to understand the situation here.
Ew, why would you want to live with other people?
Literally, though.
It's not a vibe. Not a vibe. So she walked on in. She's like, hey, this kid that I've been living with has disappeared and I don't know where he is. Wow, that's so weird. And then
I just realized that all of my facial reactions are wasted because no one can fucking see them.
I can.
That's true.
So yeah, so the police are like, well, shit, mate, we found a dead body this morning. Like, OMG, what if it's this kid? Like, come with us to the crime scene and you can try and identify the body. I don't know, it's the fucking 90s. That seems like a weird situation. But anyway, so her and her, I went to say boyfriend. It's her son.
Ew!
But in her eyes,
Kirstyn!
I didn't mean to. I didn't.
No! Her victim!
Yeah, literally though. So JJ and Sue head on down to the crime scene and they get shown the body. The police are like, oh, wait, no. So they get shown the body and then Sue is like, oh my God, no, it's Buddy. And she like starts like fucking bawling her eyes out and has this like dramatic emotional reaction, right? So she Emily's it like majorly.
I'm really sorry,
And
but
then-
you're like a day late for the Oscars, sweetie. Maybe next year.
But can we talk about apparently violence is a thing at the Oscars?
Can we not? Because I'm kind of sick of seeing it.
So yeah, she's like fucking majorly like crying, sobbing, all of this bullshit. Whereas JJ is just like chill as fuck, completely expressionless. It's just like, that's a dead body. And the police are like, excuse me, do you know
What?
this motherfucker? Yeah, no. No. It gets worse. So the police are
it's
like,
your case. It always does.
hi. So the police are like, JJ, do you know this man? JJ just turns around and he's like, yeah, we killed him. Just straight up is like, yeah, we killed him.
Fucking children. This is why you don't have them. They can't
This
keep a
kid was
secret.
24 years old. 24 when this happened.
Okay, well,
But
this is why you don't keep a 24-year-old around, because they're fucking idiots.
Apparently he, by the looks of it, had some issues, which doesn't fucking surprise me considering his mother abused him and raped him.
Yeah, he's probably been kind of
really fucked up.
stunted.
Yeah, he lives in like a fantasy world and he would always be wearing like what are they called, like army,
cloak?
army clothes.
Oh,
No,
fatigues.
like army clothes. Yeah, those. So apparently he like was constantly
So
wearing those.
fatigue
So-
isn't just something that you constantly feel, Kirstyn, and your need to nap.
Right.
It's also something that like army people wear.
Thank you for the clarification, Jeramie.
You're welcome.
He used to walk around in like fatigues or whatever. And so like, and I think he kind of thought he
Actual
was...
fatigues? Like, did he at any
That's what-
time
I'm pretty sure that's what
serve?
it says.
Did he at
No,
any time
not
serve?
that I saw.
So they were like secondhand fatigues that he just purchased and decided it was appropriate for him to wear. Because that's also not good.
So it says, why had James O'Malley Jr., so JJ, who had everything to hide, been so helpful to police? So after he says, yeah, we killed him, he also details everything that happened. The answer might have been something to do with his rich fantasy life. Always dressed in army fatigues, he somehow thought he was a special operations soldier. Like Buddy, James had a limited mental capacity.
Yeah, because his mother fucking abused him as a child.
Yeah.
She may not have beat him or shit, but sleeping with
raped
your
him.
child is still abuse.
Literally though. So yeah. So he gives up everything to the police. So it turns out Buddy had accidentally broken a Mickey Mouse figurine. That's not technically. Just let me finish.
Okay,
so he accidentally.
when you mentioned that the case was something about the broken Mickey Mouse figurine or that it had to do with a Mickey Mouse figurine, I was expecting that to be the fucking murder weapon or something. I'm like, what's this guy? No.
No, yeah.
Yet again,
So
misleading.
he
Misleading. This is why you can't trust women, because they are misleading. Whereas men,
Fuck
they're at least misleading.
Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off.
You missed
fuck
my joke.
off.
You missed my joke.
No, I heard it. It was terrible. I'm moving on from it. No. Turns out Buddy had accidentally broken a Mickey Mouse figurine. which apparently meant that he had to kneel for several days and was burned by cigarettes, and he was kicked and he was beaten, and basically all in all just treated like absolute fucking trash. And you would think, oh my God, that's like a really shitty thing to do for someone, breaking a fucking figurine. Also, just to let you know that once he eventually died from all of this
bullshit. Don't fucking break shit in my house.
Buddy was a lovely person, you piece of shit.
No, I didn't say him. I was saying, like, don't break shit in my house if you don't want to know how you'll get punished.
Literally.
Actually, I'll probably just tell you to buy me a drink and you'll be fine. I'm really easy to win over. Booze usually works.
What a mood.
Or just general praise. Just tell me I'm pretty. Feed me and tell me I'm pretty.
So he had accidentally broken the Mickey Mouse figurine, which meant he endured several days of torture and stuff like that. After he died from blunt force trauma and all that other bullshit, they put him in a bathtub filled with water, bleach, and kitchen cleaner to like wash the body. Got him out, gave him a quick dry, put him in new clothes, and then dumped him in the ditch. Also, JJ, being a super helpful special operation officer, provided the police with the whereabouts to the evidence that they'd like ditched of Buddy's clothing that he was wearing at the time of the murder. Because JJ's just a super helpful little kid there. So, turns out, just because he fucking broke a Mickey Mouse figurine wasn't the only reason he was killed. Sue, the darling woman, had also taken out a life insurance policy on Buddy for $15,000. And she was the beneficiary on it. She had also been apparently taking his social security checks because she's just such a good person. So just to make this super even more depressing, it turns out that a little later in the investigation, they found a scrawled note in the pocket of a pair of Buddy's trousers that he had tried writing to a friend in New Jersey. It was also discovered in the police investigation that Buddy had in fact turned down the offer of assistance from a neighbor called Bruce Byerly. So this was the week before he was murdered. Byerly had noticed that Buddy had a black eye and numerous other wounds on his body. And he was like, oh my God, like, do you want me to call the police or something? Buddy apparently said, no, you call anybody and she'll beat me again. So as well, just days before the murder, an assault had taken place not far from where they all lived. The responding officer caught Terrence Singleton, which is the mama roommate's daughter's fiance.
Come again? I know that's asking a lot if it's a guy trying to make that happen, but at least you're able to. No, but actually come again, please.
Yeah, no, okay. So Terrence Singleton, who is the fiance to Hope, who is the daughter of Bernice, who lives with Sue, Basso, and JJ.
So he's twice removed.
Yeah, kind of.
It's like the It's like the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon? I don't know. Some degrees of bacon.
So my understanding is all of these fucking adults live in the same same house. But anyway. So Terrence Singleton and JJ, in the act of forcing Buddy to take a military, what the fuck? Were caught in the act of forcing Buddy to take a military-style run. When asked about his visible wounds, Buddy explained that he had been beaten up by 3 Hispanics and like had nothing to do with the 2 people that were forcing him to do a shitty military style run. The police officer apparently bought that shit because he did nothing, and then a couple of days later Buddy was murdered.
Cool. That's I'm loving this story. It's
moving
so great.
on to like kind of the good part where everyone gets like, you know, on trial. So List of people that were charged in the murder of Buddy. You have Sue Basso, who the prosecution was like, fuck this bitch. She's the mastermind. She wanted Buddy dead so she could collect his life insurance. This bitch is the main bitch. Based on like all of the evidence they found in the apartment and everything like that. So Sue Basso, actually, you know what? Do you want me to leave hers to last?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
So,
why not? Let's just make it real great.
We have JJ, who is the son of Sue Basso. He was charged with capital murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. Then you have Bernice Miller and Craig Miller. So that Bernice is the mom, Craig is the son. They also lived in the apartment. They decided to plead guilty and admitted to abusing Buddy. So they admitted that they took part in assaulting him. Pretty sure they just said that they helped like beat him. They didn't take part in anything else from memory. Yeah, they admitted that they had hit Buddy. So Bernice got 80 years in prison and Craig, her son, got 60 years in prison. Now, Terrence Singleton, who is Bernice's son-in-law to be, was charged with capital murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. Then you have Hope Athrens, who is Bernice Miller's daughter. She apparently, in her trial, so they did everyone's trial first and then they did Sue Basso's. So in Hope's trial, apparently the jury was hung on whether or not to charge her for her involvement in Buddy's murder. Mm-hmm. This kind of worked out well for the prosecution because they were like, ooh, hey girl, do you want a plea bargain? She was like, yeah, bro. So she became the prosecution's lead or star witness in Sue Basso's case. And she fucking dished.
Ooh.
Yeah, so she testified that she had seen Sue beat Buddy with her fists and a vacuum cleaner attachment. And she also said that she saw Sue whipping the victim with a belt. She then said she witnessed Sue jump up and down on Buddy after he had fallen to the floor. Just a reminder, Sue was grossly overweight and Buddy was a 59-year-old frail man. Yeah.
Oh, Buddy.
And so Hope also testified that she had seen Sue encourage her son JJ to kick him while he was wearing his steel-capped combat boots. Yeah. So Hope was like, fuck this, I'm getting a plea bargain. So Hope only got 20 years because of all of the information that she gave. Also, it doesn't seem like she was super involved in the abuse of Buddy, but she deserved the 20 years because she didn't fucking do anything about it either.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So she went to jail for 20 years. She's probably the only one who will actually get out of jail. So this all happened in 1999. So a year after Buddy went to live with them. So then you come to Sue Basso. So as I said, she was decided that she was the main bitch mastermind behind this whole operation. Also, that added to Hope's testimony. She was also charged with capital murder. However, instead of just getting a life sentence, after her daughter Christiana testified against her mother about all of the abuse her and JJ had endured, Sue Basso's life imprisonment was changed to the death sentence.
Good.
So
how'd they kill her?
Ooh.
I'm gonna ask you this every time you tell me someone got the death sentence.
No,
now.
that's fair. I thought I'd written it down, but I haven't. I'm so sorry. I thought it was like at the end of my notes, but I've just checked and it is not. So uno momento.
Or did her vagina make her unworthy of death as well?
No, she actually was executed. So she was executed on the 28th of October, 1999. And she died through Ha! Also, sucks shit that stupid bitch didn't get a last meal request. She ate regular prison fare of baked chicken, fish, boiled eggs, carrots, green beans, and sliced bread. Okay, that's actually like low-key an okay meal.
That's like a decent meal. I would actually eat
literally
that.
There.
Jeez, they're fed better than I am.
What the fuck?
Who do I have to kill to get fed that good? Actually, I get fed pretty well.
Apologies. I read it wrong. So she was sentenced to death on the October 28th, 1999, but she wasn't actually executed until February 5th, 2014.
Fuck.
At the age of 50. No, I know. Like, it took a fucking hot minute. At the age of 59, and she was executed by lethal injection. And apparently, when she was asked if she had a last statement, she replied to the prison warden, "No, sir." So yeah, life lesson. Sue Basso is a piece of fucking shit and raped and beat her children, turned her son into a piece of shit, who then went on to help murder someone. Then they met some other like-minded people, the Miller family. They also beat/did nothing to stop beating this poor, dear, sweet man named Buddy, who just looks like the biggest fucking bean pie. But they all fucking paid the price because they all went to prison and that stupid bitch died from it. And that's the end.
All in all, that was a story that I did not like.
No, I started reading it and I was like, oh, this Buddy guy sounds so sweet. I hope nothing too bad happens to him.
No, as soon as you started mentioning just how sweet he was, I knew he was going to get dead. And
I knew he was going to die, but I was hoping it wasn't like super bad. Like, being tortured first and being made to feel like a worthless piece of shit.
And blaming Hispanics.
Yeah. But also it makes it so much worse because he literally had the mental capacity of an 8-year-old. So they essentially murdered an 8-year-old.
On a completely different note, Ghostface is coming along.
Oh my God, no, it looks so cute. I love it.
Right? I love it. It's so cute.
I love the cleaver. What do you call it?
It's a needle minder. I'm real slack with my stitching lately. So some weird new big project has taken up all my time. I have no idea what it could be, but it's taking up like it's basically a second full-time job. I don't know how. I remember the days when Animal Crossing was my second full-time job.
Oh my God.
And now, no, it's a podcast. And I mean, Animal Crossing, at least we couldn't leave our houses, so I didn't have to try and manage a social life on top of work and self-care. Because Animal Crossing was both self-care and a social life.
But can we talk about how disappointing the end of Animal Crossing was?
What are you talking about? It doesn't end. It never ends.
Yeah, but like the main storyline.
There is no storyline. It never ends. It continues forever. All right. Well, I am not going to lie. I really didn't like what you brought to the table. It wasn't nice.
Okay, most people don't.
I miss Buddy.
So do I.
That is not what I want. That is increasing my font size. I want to zoom in. I zoomed in too far. There it is. Alrighty. So
your turn to traumatize me.
Mine's not super traumatic.
Well, that's exciting.
But yes, let's just all aboard. We're going to speculation station. There is I was gonna say there's no fornication station on this track, but then I realized that childbirth occurs a few times throughout this story. So I guess
we have a child comes to be.
I don't know, because that's not something that I need to worry about.
Right. That's very true. I have a vagina and like penises, so it's something I have to worry about.
I mean,
regrettable life decisions.
That's a you problem. Well, yeah, that it is a regrettable life decision to like men, because why are men?
You also like men.
I am aware, and I regret that life decision every day.
Every day.
Because why are men?
They frustrate me.
Yeah. We're a frustrating species.
You are.
Yes. I mean, you're no fucking walk in the park, but also we're just
I don't even need that.
so shall I just dive straight into my mystery for the week?
Yeah, I'm very keen.
Alrighty. Well, I've forgotten entirely how to exist. That is cool. So, I actually realized yesterday as I was working on my notes that
Did you change notes again at the last minute?
No. These are the note I had already decided that I was doing this case. It was on my list of ones of must cover this early on because I found this like nearly a decade ago and it's been living rent-free in my head ever since. I was like, I need just something super simple and easy to look into because after we learned with Il Mastro di fuck, I forgot how to speak Italian. What we learned with the Monster of Florence, I guess I'm too drunk for Italian at the moment. That's fine. Is that sometimes I can bite off too much, more than I can chew, one would even say. And I didn't want to do that again. So I was like, I have a lot on this week. I'm going to pick something really simple and easy because I was focused on getting us live. So that was all of my attention. I didn't have time to focus on a case. I was like, I need something quick and easy that I can just get done. So I went with this one. It's really fucking fascinating though, and could not have been better timing because as we record, it is the 30th of March, 2022, which means tomorrow marks 100 years to the fucking day.
Since the case.
Since the main event of this case.
That's fucking cool as shit.
That was an accident, but so was I.
Cool
so
as shit accident. I was not.
And I also am a cool as shit accident. So hello. Here we go. We got this fam. So yeah, perfect timing. By the time this comes out, which is 2 weeks from today, also to the fucking day, because we release on Wednesdays, right? Is it Wednesdays that we decided on? I think it was Wednesdays. We release on a day
that ends in Y.
By the time this is released, it'll have been like a week and a half, 2 weeks past. But at the time of recording, perfect fucking timing. 100-year anniversary. Don't know what that was.
I don't know what it was either. I tried to match your energy with the ka-chow, but
yeah, so like I said, this was one of the first mysteries to grab my fascination. And I guess I just didn't get enough satisfaction out of torturing you back last week because not only am I going to be butchering the German language this week, it's also another somewhat brutal case. This is an unsolved mass murder.
Oh, for fuck's sake, Jeramie.
So, as I mentioned in a previous episode when I was correcting Kirstyn on something that she said, which, let's be real, is very on brand for me. While they are... Pardon?
I feel like it's on brand for me to be corrected.
Also, yes. But it's also just very on brand for me to correct someone. Oops.
Sure.
So while they are quite similar, there is actually a difference between serial murder and mass murder. Do you remember what that difference is, Kirstyn?
Serial murders take place over time, and it's a series of murders, whereas a mass murder happens all at once. Kind of, isn't it?
Pretty much. Well put. So obviously both involve multiple murders, but serial requires a period of time between kills, and it is repetitive. Whereas mass murder is all in one go. So serial murder is a series of murders.
And it does not involve Sultana Bran.
It does not. It does sometimes involve Cocoa Pops though.
Cocoa Pops.
Because bitches go Cocoa for Cocoa Pops. Is that the slogan? I don't know. Cereal was invented to stop you from masturbating. So cases like the Candyman and Il Mostro di Firenze. Okay, I'm not too drunk for Italian. There you go. are both instances of serial killers, as they killed multiple people. So mass deaths occurred, but they were over an extended period of time with a cooling off period in between. Mass murder is all in one go within a certain period of time. No cooling off period.
Wonder.
Well, I mean, there's probably several hits involved, especially if they're a hit man or hit woman, or hit person. I am equal opportunity for hits. I just spread the hits around. This is a case of mass murder. It also kind of touches on like a real big fear of mine, like one of my biggest fears. So I'm super glad that we're not recording this late at night, right before I have to go to bed or anything like that. Hey. Oh, wait. Sure. Yes, we are. Yeah. Good luck guessing which fear it touches on.
Yeah, I was like, oh God.
I don't have many.
No, I know, but I'm trying to remember them, and my mind is just like going to jokes about being an introvert and the fear of humans.
Oh, I mean, humans are involved. I can tell you now, it's not birds or clowns. You'll find out. All right. So, as I said, I'm going to be butchering the German language. Well, I'm really only going to be butchering German names, and they're not that bad. I might actually do okay because I did check pronunciation. I think I'll do all right. We'll see.
That's what I thought for the Mexican episode.
Did you check though? Did you really check?
I did for the city name.
Except you spent the whole time, like, and then you forgot that there was an A at the end of that city name until right at the very end of your case.
I can't help it that I have the memory of a goldfish.
What do you have the memory of?
A goldfish.
I'm surprised you remembered that. And what is the capital of South Australia?
Adelaide!
Yay! I'm going to just randomly start asking you that all the time during it, like mid-recording.
There's going to be one day where I'm just going to be like, fuck.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm going to forget.
Anyway, so obviously for this case, we are heading to Germany. And of course, I have some fun facts to share before we dive in. According to the CBS International Business School, Germany has 1,500 types of beer, 300 types of bread, and 1,000 types of sausage. This is not really surprising considering the fact that it's Germany, but as someone who enjoys both beer and bread, they have really piqued my interest. Like, I want to go to there.
Have you been to Oktoberfest?
I have not.
Oh, so good.
I'm sure. Especially with all of that beer and bread. Like, hello, bloat, but also, yes, please. That is carbs on carbs on carbs. Beer is basically bread in a can or a bottle or a glass. True. I mean, I love beer, but it's literally just bread, liquid. It's liquid bread.
You heard it here first, folks.
But also I love bread.
Bread is delicious.
Someone was telling me the other day that her go-to word for Wordle, her starting word, is bread. She's like, I always start with bread. I'm like, fair.
Because it's delicious and it has 2 vowels in it.
You should always start with bread. I mean, I use adieu as my starting word because that crosses off 4 vowels in one.
That's fair. I don't play.
You're fucking lame. Germany. So I don't know about you, but I love a good zoo. And apparently Germany has more zoos than any other country, with over 400 in total.
Why does that not surprise me? I feel like it's because the zookeeper's wife is based in Germany.
But also, I mentioned that to someone yesterday and they pointed out Germany's not that big a country.
Oh, fuck, it's not.
No, and when I tried to figure out just how big it is, the best information I could get was that you can almost fit 2 of it in Texas, which to me means nothing, but I'm sure to someone that'll mean something.
How big is Texas?
But you can nearly fit 2 of that one country in one US state. So that can't be that big. It's like 350,000 kilometers squared, I think.
How many Germanys fit in Australia? Nope, that's apparently a common thing. 22! Australia is 22 times bigger than Germany.
I don't know about you, but I'm feeling 22 Germanys.
Yes, Queen.
Within 1/22nd of Australia, there are 400 plus zoos.
Jesus Christ.
That's a lot of zoos. I want to go to all of them.
Animals. That would take you a while.
I love a zoo. I want to go back to Melbourne just to go to the Melbourne Zoo. The Melbourne Zoo is fucking rad.
Oh my God, it's such a good zoo. But anyway, Tell me more about Germany.
Yes.
Lots of zoos.
My favorite fun fact that I came across, it is not illegal to escape from prison because the desire to be free is a basic human instinct.
I mean, it's not wrong.
It's not wrong. That is a basic human instinct to be free. So for more information, I have a quote here from inshorts.com. It elaborates it a bit more. Attempting to escape from prison is not punishable in Germany, as the laws consider freedom to be a basic human instinct. However, a prisoner who damages property, murders, or assaults someone while escaping will be guilty of those crimes. If
That's fair.
Yes, so that is fair. And if an escapee is caught, he is liable to be sent back to prison to serve the remainder of his sentence. There is not an additional charge added for escaping.
So if I was in prison in Germany and I was like some boss ass bitch and figured out a way to do it without me being the one to damage any property or humans, I could just like fuck off for a while.
Mm-hmm.
They would still look for me. And then when they caught me, they'd just send me back to prison, but they wouldn't be like soups mad at me. They would just be like, bestie, come on. You need to go back to prison.
Basically. So long story short, the moral of the story is probably avoid going to prison. But if you have to go to prison, Germany's the place to do it, because as long as you don't damage property, murder, or assault anyone on your way out, you're free to.
Really hard to do.
Yeah, but I saw that. I'm like, I fucking love that. That is.
No, it's a mood.
That is rad. Like, I vibe with that. So now that I have my fun facts out of the way, today I'm going to be telling you about the Hinterkaifeck killings.
That's a cool ass name.
It is.
Assuming it's like a really shitty thing that happened. Cool ass name.
Well, there were killings.
That would be the shitty thing that happened.
It's not the only shitty thing that happened.
Oh, great.
You're going to see an interesting parallel between your case and my case.
Aww.
So the Gruber family, Andreas and Cecilia, their daughter, Victoria, and her 2 children, 7-year-old Cecilia and 2-year-old Josef, lived on a farmstead called Hinterkaifeck, about an hour's drive or 71 kilometers, 44 miles from Munich. Yes?
Are they the murder victims?
Yes.
One of them's 2.
Yes.
I can feel tears. I don't cry.
I feel really awkward at the fact that I'm smiling and awkward laughing right now, but it's the fact that I'm kind of really drunk and you caught me by surprise and I don't know how to respond.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, I'm good.
Can I finish with my fun bedtime story now?
Yeah. It's not fun, but yeah.
Holy shit, I can see the tears.
I don't usually cry, so
No, that's my job. And here I
Yeah.
am with a big fucking grin on my face.
literally though.
So it was between the towns of Groban and Kaifek, and Hinter means behind. So the farmstead was named Hinter Kaifek because it was kind of behind Kaifek.
Oh, okay. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
That was a fun fact that I learned while looking into this, because I've known about the Hinterkaifeck massacre for ages, and I assumed that Hinterkaifeck was like the suburb or the town. I didn't realize it was just the
Oh.
name of the farmstead.
That's true.
Yeah.
I also did not know that Hinter meant behind.
In German, it does. More apparently. I don't know. I'm not German, nor do I speak German. I just went off what everything I read said. So don't at me. I mean, you can at me, but I'm just going to like refer you to do at us, but I'm just going to refer you to like everything that I read that said Hinter Kaifek meant behind Kaifek. So in early April of 1922, concerns rose within the community that no one had seen any members of the Gruber family for a few days. The farm appeared to have been maintained and the animals cared for, and smoke was seen coming from the home's chimney in the past few days, and yet the Grubers were nowhere to be seen, which was out of character for them, even if they were known for mostly keeping to themselves, which fucking mood.
Fat mood. I hate people.
Yeah. On April 4th, neighbor Lorenz Schlittenbauer, leading a small search party, discovered the bodies of all 5 members of the Gruber family, as well as their new live-in maid, Maria Baumgartner. I continued that like that was the middle of the sentence, but it was not. Sentence end. Full stop. They had been brutally murdered 4 days prior, March 31st, 100 years from tomorrow. A mass murder that would remain unsolved. Between the strange happenings leading up to the massacre, who could have perpetrated the crime, and the unknown whereabouts of the victims' heads, there's a lot to unpack here.
None of them had heads? But the baby.
I don't know how to answer this question without spoilers, but
Okay. No, we can just say we can.
Long story short, the whereabouts of their heads is a mystery.
Still?
Yes.
Oh, even the babies.
I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, but I'm smiling and laughing because I know the information behind it, and my brain is just like,
Fuck you, Kirstyn. I know more than you.
Literally, it's awkward laughter.
I'm
just gonna have a drink.
Oh my god. I can't believe someone stole a baby's head. That's messed up, man.
And don't lose your head over it. Don't get too far ahead of yourself.
No, stop. Just stop. No. You're heading in the wrong direction with these jokes.
I might as well pour the whole fucking lot in. Like, what
fucking
is this
live
shit?
your dreams, babe. Just live your dreams.
Sweetie, by recording this podcast, I am. So, from what I've gathered, Andreas Gruber was not a nice man. He definitely seems to have had a reputation within the neighboring communities as being greedy and cantankerous. Do you know what cantankerous means, Kirstyn?
No. What is it? Tankerous? Tankerous.
Cantankerous.
Oh, there's a whole other fucking syllable in the front of that.
Yeah.
No, I do not. What does it mean, Jeramie?
That's fine. That whole question was just to buy me a couple of mouthfuls of wine.
I thought it might have been.
It means bad-tempered, argumentative, and uncooperative.
Oh.
I think you and I have... yeah. When I'm in a bad mood, I can be cantankerous. For the most part, I am not cantankerous, but sometimes I can be cantankerous. He was generally cantankerous, though.
So generally a shitty human.
Yes. I do love, though, that I'm going to start including that in my notes. Vocabulary lessons that allow me a chance to drink. Welcome to Vocab Lessons with Jeramie and Kirstyn.
Where Jeramie tells me a new word and I forget it within minutes of learning it.
What is the word I just taught you?
Canteraway. No. It starts with can, right?
You can be correct in that, but you can't be further up.
Kent Taraway. Kent.
Cantankerous.
Exactly. That's right, because it sounds like a dinosaur.
So what I've gathered is that Andreas Gruber was not a nice man. He definitely seems to have had a reputation within the I already went over all of this. Yep, we did the vocab lesson.
Yes, he was a Cantosaurus person.
Cantankerous.
That's basically the same thing.
Rumor had it that he was abusive.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah. Even going so far as to speculate at the fact that Victoria was the only of the Gruber children to reach adulthood. And it was likely at his hand that this came to be. I'm not 100% certain how many children Andreas and Cecilia had. I know of at least one. I think her name was Sophie or Sophia. But I am aware of the fact that Victoria is the only one to make it to adulthood because she's still present for the story. It was also heavily suspected that, here's the common thread,
Don't say rape.
Andreas had an incestuous relationship with his daughter Victoria.
How did they both accidentally choose incest?
However, I am unsure as to at what age this is believed to have began and whether or not it was consensual. There is every possibility this could have begun in adulthood and that it could have been consensual. So I will not comment on that factor, but that led to high suspicion that while Victoria claimed Lorenz Schlittenbauer, a previous lover, now neighbor, was the father of her 2-year-old son Josef, that he was actually fathered by Andreas. So there's the common thread between your case and mine. They
also,
both
just
involved.
Like to update everyone, we did not fucking confer with each other at all about our cases. All I said to Jeramie about my case was that there was a Mickey Mouse figurine involved.
We don't actually even really confer in general. We might give each other the heads up of, hey, mine's brutal, just be prepared. And that's it. It is
complete surprise.
We might be like, oh, mine's really weird, or mine's really wacko, mine's really fucked up. We give the heads up of what kind of mind space to be prepared for.
Country it's in, because remember for the Australian one, we did both be like, hey, let's do an Australian one, but that was it.
I am a lot drunker than I thought.
Okay, let's keep going though. Fucking Gruber was a piece of shit, possibly fathered his grandson, Josef, who was 2 years old at the time of the murders. Speculation station, go! So,
apparently 6 months before the massacre, the maid at the time tendered her resignation and promptly moved away from Hinterkaifeck farmstead due to her adamant belief that the farm was haunted.
So it wasn't the fact that the guy was abusive and incestuous.
She complained of hearing footsteps and voices within the house, particularly from the attic. And
it was another child.
In the weeks leading up to the massacre, Andreas himself had been complaining to neighbors of similar strange occurrences within the farm as well. He had also been hearing footsteps in the attic, but upon investigating the house, he found no one. However, it's worth noting, I threw that one in just so you can have a drink. You're welcome. On one occasion, he reported finding a set of footsteps in the snow leading into the farmhouse, but none leading away from it. And
Bum.
so yeah, on one occasion, he reported finding a set of footprints in the snow leading into the farmhouse, but none leading away from it. And on another, finding a strange newspaper that did not belong to any of the household.
That he is aware of.
No one laid claim to it. Everyone said, no, that's not mine.
Yeah, people lie.
I mean, fair. At one point, a set of keys had seemed to have just vanished. A short time before the massacre, a neighbor offered Andreas their gun for protection, but Andreas declined. He probably shouldn't have. So the groupers eventually found a new live-in maid, Maria Baumgartner. I don't know how to say it. Baumgartner.
I can't help you.
I'm just gonna go with it. Maria Baumgartner, who arrived at the farmstead on her first day on the afternoon of March 31st. Unfortunately, she wouldn't actually really have time to even properly unpack her bags and get acquainted with the house because it was also her last day.
Because she was murdered?
Not just of being the live-in maid, but also of being alive.
Sick.
So, as I mentioned earlier, neighbors grew concerned in the early days of April for a number of reasons. First, I forgot how to say it. I've only practiced like 10,000 times for the past 2 days. So as I mentioned, neighbors grew concerned in the early days of April for a number of reasons. First, young Cecilia missed school on the 1st. They must have had Saturday classes then because it was a Saturday, apparently. Also,
That's
it was
weird.
the 1st of April. So school
April
was a joke.
Fools.
Who's going to go? Literally. Then the following day, a Sunday, none of the family members showed up to church, which was very out of character for them. On the 3rd, Cecilia missed school again, and the postman observed that Saturday's mail remained untouched. He delivered mail on Saturday. What the fuck? Okay.
Mail comes on Saturdays.
Does it?
Some does. Not all, but some.
I don't know. I don't ever check my mailbox because I don't expect mail. I don't get mail. If I order stuff, it doesn't come to my house. I send it to other people's houses so that they can bring it to me as a gift. And then it forces them to hang out with me. I don't have issues. What are you talking about?
The evil plan all along.
Yeah. So she missed school again, and the postman observed that Saturday's mail remained untouched in the mailbox. So he went and knocked on the front door, and no one answered. So he just left the mail on the windowsill. And then
all right, bet. Catch you bitches.
Well, it's not his job. It's his job to deliver the mail, not
Fair.
to make sure that the mail is read. On the 4th, Lorenz Schlittenbauer and 2 other neighbors decided to venture into the farmstead for what we would now call a welfare check. And when they got no response at the house, they decided to examine the farm further, which is how they found that the barn doors were locked. So they broke in to the barn, and after breaking in, they found 4 bodies in a pile under some hay, brutally bludgeoned. These were the bodies of Andreas and Cecilia, Victoria, and her daughter, Cecilia. It
Where's
appeared...
Yusuf?
Pardon?
Where's Yusuf?
Well, that bridge is yet to be burned.
Okay.
So they broke into the barn. It appeared that the adults had been severely beaten and bludgeoned to death with a mattock or a pickaxe. A mattock is basically like a specific kind of...
what that is.
It's kind of like a specific farming kind of pickaxe. Young Cecilia had also sustained some severe injuries, including a slash across her throat, but based on how she was found, it appeared that they were not immediately fatal and that she was sadly left to die surrounded by the bodies of her family.
Jesus fucking Christ.
She was found with clumps of hair missing from her head in her hands. It is believed that she was in such a state of shock and fear that she was literally ripping her own hair out. I told you it's not as brutal as last week. It's not as brutal as last week, but it's still not great. I did say that. I fucking warned you.
That's true.
Wait, calm down. Yes, I just spoke to my glass. It's fine. So, upon the site of the scene in the barn, Lorenz feared for the fate of his potential son and headed into the farmhouse, where he sadly found the remains of Josef and the new maid, Maria, both having suffered fatal blows to the head and being covered. Maria with
there. Oh God, keep going.
Maria with her bedding and Josef with one of his mother's dresses. As the farmstead was investigated further, it appeared that not only were the farm animals and the family dog unharmed, but in the days following the massacre had also been fed and tended to by someone. As I mentioned earlier, the neighbors had also observed smoke coming from the chimney during this time. It was evident from looking around the farmhouse that someone had likely been actively residing in the house in the days following the massacre. Now, this is the part of the case, so I found the missing Fall Out Boy lyrics.
Oh God. Read them, you know you want to.
Okay, to be fair, the line that I typed now started with, now this is the part of the case. Because the line that I typed is, case open, case shut, but you can pay to close it like a casket. Which I'm not going to sing.
No?
No. What I actually meant to say was, now this is the case. This is the part of the case that terrifies me and accesses a huge fear of mine. The rest of the notes following this, it literally is like, this is the part of the case open, case shut, but you can pay to close it like a casket. Terrifies me the most and is actually... So I must have been editing this sentence when I typed that. I don't know what I did, but a Fall Out Boy ensued. But yeah, so this is the part of the case that terrifies me the most and is actually a huge fucking fear of mine. So taking this factor into consideration, that she had been hearing that everyone had been hearing noises for months. And then that it appears that after they died, someone would continue to take up residence in their house and maintain the farm after their murders. It is believed that this person could have possibly been secretly residing in the farmhouse with the Grubers for at least 6 months.
6 months. Fucking Christ.
The previous maid left 6 months earlier because she had heard because of all of the voices and the footsteps that she was hearing. And then Andreas himself was hearing shit. He was finding footsteps leading up to the house. His keys went missing. And like it all adds up. There was another person living in that house for 6 months. It's what the fuck? Like,
but why would you kill the people that are like have a house for you to chill in?
Well, I suppose that's for them to know and for us to never fucking to find out, isn't it?
I don't know why I do this with things.
I don't know about you, but sometimes I get this really, really weird paranoia at times that someone is or has been in my home without me realizing, either while I'm home or while I'm out. Either way, I feel the need to just suddenly check every single room, every closet, every nook and cranny that a person could be, just in case.
Fair.
Just to be sure. Gotta be safe. A few weeks ago, Mateo and I went and saw Scream, the newest one. And when we got home, I immediately walked in, opened the laundry slider, was like, cool, closed it. And Mateo was like, what are you doing? I'm like, nothing. It's cool. Nothing. I'm not doing anything.
Still.
And then he watched me walk into the bedroom, look around, and drop to my knees and look under the bed. And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, we're all good. And he's like, did you really just do that? I'm like, dude, I just had to watch that movie and think about all of the places that person could hide.
And then I came home.
So I had to check. Like,
makes sense.
You're telling me that I'm wrong?
Mm.
Maybe you're the killer. You can leave.
Get the fuck out, bitch.
Good news is he wasn't Ghostface. He didn't kill me. He's still welcome to come back. But I'll question that in future. Because maybe he's not so. Who knows? I'll find out if I get stabbed. Anyway.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
Back to this mass murder. And don't steal my fucking saying, bitch. We don't cross. Actually, no, you're not stealing it because you've gone with the actual proper
I said
saying.
Cross. You said burn.
Yeah. I use a malaphor, which is a combination of two common sayings. He also can't fucking blame me for the fact that coming home from a slasher flick, I was like, I'm going to check every room, because the day after we had our Screamathon, I had someone literally trying to open my apartment door. All right. So it appeared that each of the victims found in the barn had been killed separately, as if they had been somehow lured out to the barn one by one to meet their fate. So Andreas was lured out first, one would assume, and they went bye-bye. And then
bam! And the dirt is gone.
And then after a bit, you would assume that Cecilia would be like, Andreas went out there a while ago. Where is he? I'm going to go check up on him.
Fam, you okay?
And then, bam! Victoria would probably be concerned as to where her parents have gone. It's been a while. They've disappeared. And then, bam! And then, unfortunately, poor Cecilia, I'm assuming, I don't even know if she was lured out. I would just assume that she just probably was like, hey, where is everyone?
Yeah, like let's go find them. I
Like,
wonder
just
where they
kind of wandered
are.
out to find her mom. And unfortunately, that was the fate that she met. I'm not gonna add a bam to that one because that one makes me sad. It actually, the children, I mean, the whole case is pretty sad, but the children in particular make me really sad because 7 and 2.
Yeah, this is small.
And the maid, she didn't even get through her first fucking day.
Literally there. Poor girl.
Anyway, so the initial theory was that this was the work of thieves and that it had been a robbery. But that theory quickly fell apart after finding large sums of cash throughout the house that easily would have been found and stolen during the days the killer remained in the house following the massacre. So it wasn't burglary. Vicious rumors also spread that either Andreas or Victoria could no longer live with the shame of Joseph being the child of incest, and that one of them had bludgeoned the rest of the family before taking the weapon to themselves. However, this also was quickly proven untrue as neither's wounds were consistent with ones that could be self-inflicted. So that's not the case either. All in all, over 100 suspects were interviewed, but to no avail. And in 1923, don't know where the second 9 came. In 1923, just a year later, the Hinterkaifeck farmstead was demolished, and the Gruber family and Maria were laid to rest in a nearby cemetery without their heads. But Jeramie, what happened to their heads? You're probably asking, and rightfully so.
I am very curious as to where their heads
Rightfully so, especially seeing as I just fucking told you about all of the fatal head wounds that were inflicted on them.
Yeah, I was a little confused when you were like, said something about a head wound. I was like, how the fuck did they know? They don't have the heads.
So when the bodies were found, they did have heads. So it was the head wounds were very evident.
Their heads got stolen?
They didn't get stolen. This is why I was laughing when you were so confused about them missing heads at the start, because I was like, I know what's coming, and it's so fucking weird. So they were all killed with very fatal head wounds. And it was 1922. So they conducted an autopsy, but apparently that was not enough. They decided that they were going to take extra measurements. So I suppose coroner, I guess,
I would assume so.
The person conducting the autopsy decided that they could use extra assistance on this case. So they removed the heads.
What?
And sent them to Munich for further investigation and also to be examined by clairvoyants. Yeah, now do you see why I was sitting here giggling when you were like, what happened to their heads? I'm like,
Fucking
nothing.
Christ.
Nothing happened. What are you talking about?
Why?
So, yeah, the person conducting the autopsy removed their heads and sent them to Munich for them to conduct further research on and share with clairvoyants, which were considered forensic research at the time. This led nowhere. However, even come time to bury the family, it was decided it was best to keep the heads in Munich for research and evidence. So the family and Maria were buried without their heads. Don't lose your head over it. Just calm down, Kirstyn.
Did they have permission?
Their heads were kept as evidence, and then World War II happened, and they were kind of lost forever. So we don't know where their heads are.
Oh my fucking God.
We have literally lost their heads.
Why? Why people are so stupid?
So that's another mystery involved in this case.
Oh my God, there's more?
And then on top of that, we have the fact that, well, we haven't talked about who killed them.
That's true. That's very true.
We have talked about the fact that we kind of understand how they died. We don't know where their skulls are, but we don't know who killed them. So there are two main theories as to the identity of the killer that stuck out to me, though neither is without its flaws. So obviously we've already established that there was a strong theory that either Andreas or Victoria decided to kill the whole family as well as themselves, but then neither of them had wounds that match with self-infliction. So that kind of ruled them out. So the first of these two theories is Lauren Schlittenbauer, the neighbor the neighbor and former lover of Victoria, and also the possible father of Josef.
Oh, I thought it was a chick and I was so excited for some lesbianism.
No. Lawrence, not Lauren. So Victoria had previously been married to the father of her daughter, Cecilia, but was widowed when he died in 1914 fighting in the war. Victoria and Lorenz had been romantically entangled and planned to wed. Though it is said that Andreas interfered. And this is where the whole incest theory begins. Lorenz did ultimately marry another woman and father a child with her. But it's also worth noting that during this period, Josef was born, and Lorenz actually made allegations that Andreas was the father. And so court took place in regards to incest charges and all of that. And then Lorenz went against those claims. So those charges were null and void.
Okay.
But Lorenz was the person to draw attention to the fact that it was possible that Josef was actually Andreas's child. That is worth keeping a note in regards to all of this, because he was the person that was like, hey, I don't think it's my baby. I'm pretty sure she's fucking her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Which,
I'm pretty sure she's fucking her dad.
yes, so Lorenz was the person that drew attention to the fact that it was possible that it wasn't his baby. And then suddenly he turned around and went, no, it is my baby.
What?
And it's rumored that Victoria actually paid him the money that was going to cover the future child support. So there's a lot of rumors surrounding all of this that could mean
Shocking.
it was an incest baby, or it also could have been his baby. It's either or. So Lorenz did ultimately marry another woman, and he
Fair.
actually fathered a child with her. However, this child died just a few weeks prior to the massacre. So the
Of what?
police, I don't know how. I just know that the child died. But the police kind of homed in on this and made him a suspect straight away, as they felt that the trauma of losing his baby combined with the frustration of paying child support for a child that many questioned the paternity of may have led him to a psychotic break.
We've all been there.
Which does track, however, and it was also kind of further supported by the facts that he lived within a short distance of the farmstead, so he kind of would know it pretty well. And his history with the Gruber family on the farmstead, he would have known how to deal with a farm. So it's not unheard of, but it doesn't add up though, however, with the fact that someone was heard to be living in their farmstead for 6 months, and
So weird.
that he had a wife and a child that would have noticed if he wasn't home for extended periods of time.
Yeah.
So they were able to claim that no, he definitely wasn't living anywhere else. However, the night of the killings, he had an argument with his wife, and she'd basically told him to sleep outside. So he was sleeping outside, unaccounted for. So the night of the murders, he possibly could have done it, but the rest is unaccounted for. The other main theory is slightly similar, but also slightly different. So the other main theory is that it might have been Carl Gabriel, Victoria's late husband. Yep, I'm waiting for you to process a keyword in that sentence.
Can you say it again? My brain just fizzled.
Victoria's late husband.
Dead.
Yeah, late means dead. Cecilia's father. So while it
You
was
need a fucking family tree for this case.
while it was believed that he had been killed in the war, it is theorized that this may have not been the case, as his body was never recovered. It is possible.
No body, no crime.
It is possible that he found his way back to Hinterkaifeck and took up residence in the attic for some time. If he was already believed to be dead, there was no one that would notice he wasn't home, and there was nowhere else for him to go. So it fits that he could have possibly been residing in the attic for 6 months without anyone noticing him missing, and knowing the family's routine and how the farm worked. He also could have evaded their capture.
He was like, peace out, bitches.
So this would explain the killer having a clear understanding of the farm, as he had previously lived on the farmstead, as one of the groupers during his marriage to Victoria. Technically, the farm had momentarily been signed into his name. So he was used to owning a farm. But then he went and died. So.
Oh, weirdo. How dare he?
Right. However, the main theory is that upon his return, he flew into a rage after discovering that his wife had been with another man and bore his child in his absence and slaughtered the whole family. This does not track with someone that had been residing in the farm for 6 months.
Yeah, because like, why would it take him 6 months to get that angry and just crack?
Right. So both of the main theories have no real cement behind them.
Actual like motive.
But do you want something that's really going to piss you off about this case? Because it really fucking pisses me off.
What is it?
It's technically solved. We'll just never know the answer. In 2007, students at a German police academy, the name of which I am not even going to attempt to say, it was fear something.
Sure,
that's as much of an attempt that you're going to get out of me. So they looked into the case, and while they could not find a definitive answer with the evidence, they did unanimously agree on one theory. However, due to respect of the family of the families still alive related to this case, they refuse to actually share that theory. So more or less, a German police academy out there have potentially pointed the finger at the killer. We just don't get to know who it is.
Yay. I love it so much when you tell a story.
Right? I mean, I tell them well, though, don't I?
Very true, very true. I do like the way you tell them.
They're at least worth listening to. It's just sad that there's no happy ending or ending in general.
That's very true.
This is one that I found fascinating, and some of this stuff I didn't learn until I looked into it a bit further, because I knew about the footsteps and the murders and the no one being identifiable. I didn't know about any of the extra stuff. But yeah, so that's my case.
Thanks.
People died.
Super glad.
I'm gonna try and find a funner case for next week. I can't guarantee that I will, but I'm gonna try. But I had fun. Did you have fun?
I did. I had a good time.
That's good. That's why we do this. It was entertaining. We both had some interesting stuff to bring to the table.
Yes.
What is the capital of South Australia?
Adelaide.
And what is another word for temporary ban?
It's not mono. More. It's more.
Yes.
More away. Moratory. What the fuck is my brain doing? I feel like sometimes when I try to remember a word, it's like Wordle, but in my brain.
What was the word for a walkway?
I really want to say thoroughway, but I feel like it's not thoroughway. It's thorough something.
So close. It's thorough something.
Thorough. Huh?
Fuck.
Thorough fuck. There we go. It's thorough fuck, guys.
No, it's not.
Yes, it's thorough fuck. Thorough. Give me answers, oh mighty microphone.
It's another word for carnival.
Thorough.
It's another word for pale.
Or what?
The affair. And the other one was moratorium. We went over this an hour ago.
Don't hate me because you hate me.
I don't hate you because I ain't you, but I'm so fucking glad that I ain't you.
Because you don't want to deal with my memory issues? What a mood. It's a struggle sometimes.
Oh God.
Sometimes I just like literally can black out like an entire section of my life.
That's called trauma. And we've all been there.
No.
Anyway, I have work super early in the morning.
I'm fucking exhausted. What a mood.
I need to go to bed. I've covered my... Oh! No, I did finish my case. I told you about the whole German students figuring out the case but not telling us who it fucking is.
Which is so fucking rude. Gang friends, we appreciate you listening to us, and I'm just going to fucking ignore Jeramie for this entire next part.
Wow, you fucking hate me? You're a fucking bitch.
Yeah, I am, and you know that, so move on. Thanks, gang friends, for listening. We appreciate you. We also hope that we have taken up some space in your head rent-free, because Jeramie and I are both broke as shit and couldn't afford it anyway.
Yo! I don't know what that response is.
If you want to interact with us socially, you can email us at rfimhpodcast@gmail.com, or you can chuck us a follow on Twitter or Instagram at rfimhpodcast. And if you want to stalk us on Facebook, you can find us at Rent Free in My Head Podcast. It's a pretty cool page. Send us your feedback. Send us love. Just shower us with compliments. Share your thoughts. Take up some space in our heads since we've taken up so much space in yours. Catch you later, alligators.